Hey guys, welcome to The Scoop, where we have real locker room talk with real athletes and coaches. I'm your host, Perfect Pervis, and joining me is Athletes Forum CEO Jamal Clay. And today we have two guest hosts, so we're mixing it up for you guys. We're gonna do a real, like show type of show, a roundtable platform. First up, we have Phillip Gamble. Phillip, again, I'm not going to go too much into this man's background, but if you have ever played football in Germany, you probably know who this guy is. I like to call him Yi because that's what he writes everywhere online. So, Phillip, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Next up, we got another one of my favorite players to watch in Europe. Germany is where he's at currently, but I've seen him play all over. Paul Morant. The thing about Paul is you're one of those guys from that Virginia type area, right?
Yeah.
Look, what y'all don't know, and again, I'm going off script. There's no script really. But there's a lot of cats from Virginia out in Europe doing their thing. And Paul is one of them. And I remember after meeting him or talking to him and doing like interview type stuff, and then all of a sudden I just start seeing people from his area just start popping up and populating. Like you see one and then all of a sudden you start making the connections because they're connected. And Paul, one of them guys, putting on for Virginia. What's the area code? Is it 707?
757.
757?
757, man. You can't ever get that wrong, man.
There you go. 757. Man, I'm from the 409.
Virginia bred dogs, though. Virginia bred in the dogs, though.
So I don't even know about that. But Virginia, yeah, there you go. Well, welcome to the show, Paul. Goddamn. Sorry.
Had to be here, man. Had to be here.
If y'all hear me cursing, that's just because I get too relaxed out here. We've been having a good time.
Too amped up.
So today we got great show. We're going to talk topics. These two guys, they want to talk about some stuff. Me and Jamal, we got some things we want to get off our chest. We want to let you guys know. As always, we're going to keep it real. First up, again, I feel like sometimes we talk about money a lot. This isn't about money. This is about opportunities. We want to talk about career opportunities for imports in Europe outside of football. A lot of guys come to Europe to play football. Obviously, that's the number one. That's the dream. But, financially, there's other things you can do to, increase your wealth, increase your, take home pay or whatever your goal might be. But there's a lot of opportunities out here, but not everybody understands, what you're prepared for, what you can get done and how you can do it. So want to talk to you guys about that today. And Phillip, I'll actually let you go first, with you being so experienced in Europe and actually living here and having an outside career from football. So just tell us a little bit about some of the opportunities that you see for imports when it comes to creating a career outside of football out here.
Well, yeah, basically it just goes back to, whatever country you're in, Germany, France or Finland or whatever, you have to, adapt to that culture, learning the language, learning how the people do whatever. The same here in Germany, I'm dealing with German people. And so therefore I have to speak a little bit of German. And, I kind of took that, to heart because when I figured out that I'm going to be living here, for the time being, I had to involve myself in the culture, learn the language a little bit, market myself because, as imports here, we kind of have to kind of think at as we are our own company, basically. We're getting hired basically to come over here and help out teams. So therefore, we kind of have to have that mindset, as Americans or anywhere you come from, you have to have that mindset as in you are your own company and how you are going to branch out and to do different things. And that's just basically what I did. Teaching English, my mother tongue, so it's easier for me. And that's mostly the thing where you really won't find a job as an American or Canadian or English-speaking person unless you put the time in and find these English-speaking companies that are going to take you,
That reminds me, just throw it in here a little bit, guys. But Paul, you're in Brazil, right? At one point.
Now I'm in Germany.
No, not now, but at one point. You played in Brazil, right? So I'm connecting with you a little bit because I think you understand this. When I was in Brazil before, like people wanted to learn English. So like it was a huge deal. And I know like if you were in Brazil, like as soon as you start speaking English, man, it's a whole nother world how much people love you because you're speaking English. Just to throw out a weird anecdote here. One time I lived in Brazil and a guy was paying me per hour to go hang out with him in his house. Every week, he comes scoop me up, take me to his crib, and we would just chop it up. Like no formal teaching or anything. We'd sit around, talk about stuff, and he had good English, but he wanted to practice it and get better. And we just talked. Like I didn't ever like correct him or say, "Oh, that sounds weird." I was like, because he had really good English in my opinion, but he said that he had no way to tell because he didn't have anyone to like talk to in English.
That's sometimes would be the issue. Like when you in your home country, but you know English, you're not just going to speak English with the people of your own country. You're going to speak that language. So like that's why they come out and they be like, when they get that chance to speak English, they take advantage of it and they speak it, even though you may try to like down there is trying to speak Portuguese to them, you know, and they know I'm American, so they know I'm speaking English. So like when I try to say it, they'll cut me off and like put this in English. You know, they put it in English. I'm like, okay, all right. Well, I mean, I was trying, but I mean, we want to speak English. We can do this, man. All right, let's go. You know, so I mean, that's the main difference. You got to be adaptable. You know, that's just what it is. You know, like what Phil was saying, you got to look at it as your own business. Have a plan. Like if you're not sure, it's not like you need to have a plan right away because sometimes it doesn't happen like that right away. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he didn't have a plan when he first came out here. He was like, I'm gonna stay out here for as long as I.
No one had that plan.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
But if y'all watching this or if you're listening to the scoop, now you know you need to get a plan. Go get you a pen and pad, goddamn. Get y'all a plan,
have a slight plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially these young guys, because I mean, they starting younger now. You know what I'm saying? They starting to come out here a little bit younger. They're not like 24, 25, like 22, 23 coming out now. So it's like have a slight plan, but don't be discouraged if it don't work out the way you want it to. Just keep your mind focused and going, you know what I'm saying, on what you got to do. Because if you're adaptable, there's no telling where you can go. You know what I'm saying? Like if you learning the languages, if you really are connecting with the people in whatever country you're in, trying to get the culture down and everything, man, that makes it so much easier because you have a better understanding of what to expect, what's going on. And it just makes you that much more wanted, you know, in a way, just wanted like, I want this guy with me. You know what I'm saying? I want to have this guy around because he actually is like, he takes that time to really learn about the culture, learn about the company, learn about the people, learn about how, you know, how Germans can be. I feel no. And just be in the level.
Let me ask y'all this. Outside, like if you're not like coaching or working with the organization, what are some of the career opportunities out there?
You want to go first? Or you want
I could go. I mean, there are a lot of English out there. I mean, most of the people that are coming over are English. There's a lot of teaching. Like I said, what I do, going into different schools, having the kids basically overcome their fears of speaking English. And what I kind of tell most of these kids here, when they have to speak 3 or 4 languages already in their curriculum, as Americans, we only have to speak English. That makes us look, a little bit lazy, I would say. I mean, just how our school system is set up.
Yeah.
And I kind of tell people that there's jobs out here for English-speaking people. You just have to go look for them.
Hey, real quick, just to cut you off real quick, just go off that point. The one thing I respected about being overseas is that Europeans, just in general, no matter the country, take the time to actually learn multiple languages throughout their whole duration of school. So it's not like in America where it's like, we'll teach you French, we'll teach you Spanish, but you only need like a year or 2 of it. Like, no, you're taught multiple languages throughout your whole educational career, so to say. That's one thing that I definitely respected about Europeans and kind of wish that had that.
Hand up.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey. I'm just letting y'all know from the get, I respect that all too, but let's not get this confused, guys, because this is what happens a lot is we talk about Europe as a whole, like it's one thing, and then we compare it to the United States, which is one thing. What you have is look at how big the United States is where everyone's speaking English. Every state speaks English. In Europe, every country speaks a different language. So they have to know multiple languages. Think about just thinking in terms.
English is almost a neutralizer, though.
In a 6-hour trip in Europe, you can go from Italy to Switzerland to France to Austria or even Germany. You can go to 5 different countries that are within a 6 or 7 hour radius. And how are you going to communicate? You have to prepare those kids for that because they are going to do that. My child can be born in Texas and I mean, they might have learned a little bit of Spanish, but most likely they could travel that whole country their whole life and never have to speak another language because of where they're located. So the European school system is built for that, and it makes sense. I'm not trying to come at nobody, but as an American, people tell us about this all the time, and like you said, Phillip, sometimes they say, oh, well, y'all are lazy for not learning multiple languages. I disagree. And I think that we all need to look outside ourselves. Europeans also need to look over here and realize what we have going in the States. And we also need to look at Europe and be like, yeah, if I lived in Europe, I was born in Europe, I would definitely want to know 2 or 3 languages. I want to know my home country language, the country closest to me that I probably go to the most often, and obviously English to bind everybody. Now, if I live in Texas, I'm not going to force my kid to learn multiple languages. They're probably going to go their whole life and be able to and be fine with English. So I'm not going to force them to do that. And it doesn't really make sense to force them. But now that we have this generational divide now people are going across the seas more often. So, 15, 20 years ago, it made sense in the United States. Everybody learned English. But now you might want to have a second, language. Maybe don't make it Spanish like I did, and then come to Finland where they don't speak any type of Spanish.
Especially when we're talking about like having value. Obviously, the more you know, the more opportunities you're going to have, especially when it comes to just careers in general or, employment in general, because you're going to be more valuable to the company or wherever you're working.
That's the change nowadays. That's really the change is with how many people are businesses being incorporated and tied together with Europeans and European countries over to like China, Japan, all that stuff. It's not about really so much as forcing the people trying to do it, just to expand their knowledge because it's not going to hurt them. They know, that might be something that maybe if you, like you said, if you're born in Texas, he learns Spanish, it could benefit him no matter if he goes to visit Mexico, if he goes to visit Spain, you know what I'm saying? Like little things like that can be tied in because if you think about these languages, they are all tied in together, especially like with Spanish, Portuguese, French, Italian,
Latin.
They all got that Latin background. So all of it can come tied together and they don't even have to learn that much difference. Portuguese is tough though. It's like a mixture of French. That's like a mixture of French, Italian, and bro. That was like one of the hardest languages that I had to learn because it was just, I would remember some of the stuff they would say and I put it with the Italian that I knew. And then like, they'll say one word and I'll be like, I don't know what this is.
All right, we got to stop this conversation.
Bro, I don't know. What is that?
I try.
You know what I'm saying? It'd be like that. But if we're definitely putting into the guys that's coming over here to really try to learn the languages and coming up from the younger ages, because as they're younger, they learn better. When you start getting older, you get a little more stubborn. Like, I ain't trying to do this. I ain't trying. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to do this. Once you get older, I ain't trying to do this no more. Yeah. I ain't trying to learn. The best time to do it is when they're younger. Like I took 4 years of German in high school, but it come back to me every now and then here. But I took 10 years off from it because I was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm in America. Yeah. I'm like,
let me ask you this. I'm with 3 guys that currently are living in Europe, working in Europe, Finland, Germany. How good is your German or your Finnish or whatever language you have to speak? Pervis maybe in the position, you're not really in the corporate side of it, I guess, but like Phillip, where you're teaching, or Paul, where like, you're coaching stuff. Like, obviously, you guys are living over there. How good is your language now?
Hey, Pervis should be nice with his now, man. He been out there long enough. No, if he ain't speaking it fluently, bro, we gonna have an issue.
No. Don't y'all get me twisted out here. First of all, if you find me somebody that has lived in Finland for a certain amount of time and they can speak Finnish fluently, hey, hats off to them. But also, if you can find somebody that can go to a country where everyone speaks English and then they learn the language anyways. That is the double-cross sword with certain countries. And I can give you just my quick recap now. When I was in Italy, I never learned Italian because everybody was speaking English around me. So there was no need to. When I was in Switzerland, I never learned German. I learned some phrases. Vernet.
It's a dialect anyway. It's not even like the real language.
Vernet, sehr viel, or something like that. Something about you look good. I don't know. But I didn't have to because everybody spoke English. So there was nothing making me learn it. I've lived in Portugal. I lived in Brazil twice, and both times I learned Portuguese to the point that I was speaking it almost fluently. I actually tricked somebody into thinking I was Brazilian. I told them I was American. They didn't believe me. I had to pull out my card because they said my Portuguese was good. But again, there was no English. I had to do it. I had to learn Portuguese in Brazil because no one spoke any English. Now, in Finland, I've been here 5 years now, and I've rarely had to use my Finnish. I know a certain amount. I can read and understand some of it, but I don't carry on Finnish conversations because these kids learn English through primary school going up. By the time they're adults, everybody has conversational English. And when it comes to communication, you have to find common ground. If you can speak my language and I can't speak yours, then we're going to speak my language. And that's just where I've been here in Finland. So I haven't had to necessarily speak it, but I am a level 2 certified in Finnish of knowing how to speak it. And I'm certified to teach English if I want to. I did that because, you got to do it. But I'm speaking English on the regular. But I can say a couple things. That's my spiel, man. This is not about me. It's about y'all. Give us say something.
Yeah, with me, I'm a B5. So B5 is middle, not business so much. I can, hold a conversation. For me, it's I'm always scared to say something wrong or something like this. But, most of the time I kind of take it back because the same people, they're scared to speak English because they're scared to say something wrong. But I was I understand what you're trying to say, just like they understand what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to get at. They use hand movement and things like that. So, ik ben een B-spy yet.
Hey, look, I ain't no B-spy or whatever, man. I'm in my Duolingo. I'm trying to, what I want to do is take the course to get that certification of it. I mean, I know a good amount. It come back to me here and there. I understand more than I can speak. You know what I'm saying? That's always be the case. Every country I'm in, I learned the language pretty well, but it's like you said, I don't want to say it wrong. And then, sometimes they know you're saying it, which is sometimes why I hate how they act sometimes. It's they know what I'm trying to say, but then they make it all difficult, maybe because I said said a letter or something kind of wrong, and they'd be like, what? I'm like, and then I say it, and then they say it. I'm like, bro, we basically just said the same exact thing. You just said it with an German accent. I got an American accent. I can't change that.
The one thing that I think is crazy when it comes to language that we in English, with English being a language that was, brought from another country and then we Americanized it, we all have those accents. There's a word, I can say the, I can, and everybody's gonna understand that I'm saying the or the. It's the same word. In most languages, if words are pronounced like that, they're totally different. You don't slightly mispronounce it. That's the issue with Finnish that I have, is that you can't make a mistake. Like you just said, Paul, if you make a mistake, the language is so strict and it's taught so well from the younger ages that, people don't make mistakes. They don't have the large amount of immigration like we did to start the language up, So people didn't have accents from day one. So you're taught exactly how to do it. So everybody knows how to say it. Here, even when immigrants learn the languages, a Finnish person will always say, yeah, I can tell they're not Finnish because of the way they say the words. But at least they say them right. And then they look at me and they're like, you need to just give it up. Okay. All right. I'll just speak English. That's just one thing that I really think the language is English is an easy language in general. Because it's so easy, it adapts with you. You can say stuff and it doesn't have to be right, and you can still speak English. It's the same thing with the grammar. You can say, I don't see or I see not. And people will understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
You can't do that in other languages. If you don't say the words in the right order, nothing.
Hey, Phil, no. Like, hey, the one thing I can't stand is trying to figure out the dare D das, man. And all of them mean the.
Yeah.
All of them mean the, bro, but they can all mean differently.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? You just gotta if you say like
from
a DOS something, they're gonna look at it supposed to say, oh, it's D. I'm like, I wish I would just say man. Like the is so simple. You know what I'm saying? Like the English is so simple. Some people say, like, oh, English is so hard. I'm like, bro, English is not that hard, honestly, because we don't gotta have so many words to say one.
The thing with English is you can have a lot of words to say one, but everyone kind of accepts whatever you say. So it's like you can be a thesaurus if you want to, but once you learn one word, you're good. You don't have to learn them all. In these other languages, you need to know what word for every situation. You know I can say add or I can say plus. But if I learn add, I don't have to say plus no more. I can just say add every time and people can understand me.
Yeah.
But in these other languages, you can't do that. They're very strict. I think original languages. I think English is not an original language. I think it was people like, shoot, let's just ride with this because this is easy. And everybody picked this up and we could just keep going. But the rest of these languages are built from their cultures, from the ground up. They have their specific rules. And what I would say to anybody listening to this, because we're going way off topic, we're mostly just talking language now. So this episode is going to be discussing language instead of
understanding each other.
Understanding each other, communication. But what I would say to anybody who's trying to maybe learn a language or pick it up or, utilize their English to help someone else learn English is learn the rules of the language. I know a lot of people think, well, if I get my vocabulary up, vocabulary is, memory, what a word means, blase, blase. But if you know why, like, the sentences are structured and why certain words are placed where they are, it'll actually make it a lot easier for you to just add vocabulary later. And, like in English and even in like Spanish, when I learned Spanish, we were taught phrases a lot of times. And it worked because in casual, like Spanish and Hispanic culture, everybody uses, phrases like ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué pasó? Stuff like that.
Muy bien.
Muy bien. You learn phrases and it fits. But in most other languages, the phrases depend. Like here in Finland, you can't just say what's up. Like there's 7 ways to say it because it depends on who you're talking to. So I can't teach you how to say what's up. That'd be dumb because I'd only teach you how to say what's up to Paul, but not how to say what's up to Paul or Philip. And then when you see both of them, you say what's up and everybody looks at you like,
he ain't from here.
That's that. So just try to learn the rules. The rules is the hardest part. Like learning what a word means is just memory. We're all going to be able to do that eventually. You can get memory cards for that. But learning why the words are the way they are, try to find someone who understands grammar, and it'll make everything easier because you'll be able to take that from country to country because every country has different grammar rules, but almost all countries have the same vocabulary when you think about it from the large scale. So, yeah we're going to end that because we've been rambling for about 20 minutes about language. And we're going to move on to the next segment and try to get this show going in some type of orderly fashion, guys. This is too much fun. On the Scoop, we have too much fun. That's all that is. Have you checked out K Noah's ready-to-wear collection? It's K Noah's top-notch quality, but it's teamwear made custom for you and your team, so you can rep your squad now. All right, that's it for us today on the Scoop. Keeping the locker room talk real as always. I want to thank our guests, Paul Morant, Phillip Gamble, for kicking it with us today, talking about these topics. And I wish you both best of luck going forward. And more than just your football careers, obviously, we're all more than just sports. So just want to wish you guys the best going forward in whatever you decide to do. Jamal, what you got for them?
Hey, man, appreciate y'all coming on. This is the first roundtable we had on Scoop with multiple guests. So, again, appreciate y'all going on. Just real quick before we head out, Phil, Paul, just tell us anything you got going on, any shout out you want to give, anything you need to get off your chest before we end this.
Hey, look, man, all I want to do is say shout out to my moms, man. That's all I want to do right now. Shout out to the fam. Shout out to my girl. Shout out for,
757.
Man, yeah, it's 757 on the map. We already know. Hey, look, we ain't never letting them go nowhere, but just shout out to every organization that gave me the opportunity to get better, help the team, and we're trying to go for more, man. Thank God for every opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I give a shout out to my family back home, back in Cambridge, Georgia. So you guys got 757, we got the 229.
Okay.
We got the punt, pass, kick Europe coming out. Just what we had in America. We want to just have kids start at a young level, learning how to punt, pass, and kick. I think that could be really big for the European culture. Of course, me and Paul is going to work together in the future. So, it's just coming together, everybody working together. Hopefully everybody can come together like we did today and just share ideas and go from there, basically.
Sure.
Definitely.
Big things in the future, man. Big things in the future.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching the show on YouTube or listening on your podcast outlet. Be sure to subscribe to Athletes Forum YouTube channel or American Football in Finland's podcast to catch the scoop each week in either video or audio format. You can also follow us on Twitter at The Scoop AF, on Instagram at Athletes Forum, and on Facebook at Athletes Forum. Also, by following us on these channels, you'll have a chance to win teamwear swag provided by our sponsors at K Noah. So be sure to follow the instructions in the description below, down there, or in the written description in the podcast. All right? And that's it for us this week, guys. Appreciate it. See you next time.